It's so much fun, like being an adult.
Who the fuck is JD Power and Associates?
A brain teaser?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
My favorite criminal.
These motherfuckers are making cash.
You've never seen a lazier guy.
You've already lost enough at this point, so what's a little bit more?
You're getting competitive with it. You're like, come on, what's the next?
I think you guys are wrong.
And while it's in motion,
He's
got his camera.
There's a bunch of pirates out there collecting our booty.
Fuck that, we're gonna get it done.
So 2 weeks ago, we recorded our last episode, and I gave you my stock pick.
Oh yeah, Tesla, all in on Tesla.
I told you I was going to put everything into Tesla.
Wait. Did you dollar cost average it, or you just put like everything in?
No, I just did it all in one go.
Oh really?
Yeah. It's
I didn't know that.
On such a large cap stock, it's not like I wasn't going to move the needle.
Did you sell anything to buy more Tesla? Did you have no holdings in the public market before that?
No.
Oh really?
No.
Like nothing.
But again, I keep cash in the company, and so personally, no, I just had cash, but all the cash I had, I put into Tesla. You want an update?
Sure, dude, give it to me.
In just 2 weeks, I've managed to lose 15% on my investment.
Wow, damn, dude.
I don't know if Tesla's gone down 15%.
You're actually the worst investor I think I've ever met in my entire life.
It's crazy.
You always buy at the peak of the market. Like I'm actually going to start every time you say, like, dude, if I shorted Tesla, I would have made a ton of money.
Yeah.
Like
you should have bought options.
Dude, should have bought options. Like should have got long mortgages when you got a 1-year mortgage. Like, dude, you actually are the worst investor.
I got my watches on, I think, the worst day.
You bought watches at the peak of COVID hype.
Yeah.
When I think you needed to go into with a mask. Like the peak when watches were like the craziest price of all time is when you bought watches. Like it's actually crazy.
Same with my car. The car was right before all the news about the secondhand car market being.
Oh, the new car.
I paid over retail for my car.
Right. Are they back now? Down now?
Yeah, I've lost tons of money on that car.
Really?
Yes. What else? I feel like I've timed a lot of shit wrong. Oh, my house. That was a big one. I bought that at the height of the market.
Well, no. Okay, but remember, you bought your house before another rate. Like if you would have finished it and flipped it in time, you would have made a ton of money.
Yes.
Before the interest rates went up. You actually bought it at a really great time if you did your original plan and not kept it.
Yes, but it's still not ready to be sold, so it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, no, it's irrelevant. But it's you actually didn't have a bad buy. You had bad timing on the sell.
On the run, yeah. But like you said, 1-year mortgage.
Okay, let's get back to Tesla.
So anyway, Tesla's gone down 15 years. So I buy it. Dude, the next day, Elon Musk tweets, and you remember the whole reason I bought it was I really believed in this robot and the AI they're building with the robots.
You did a lot of extensive research.
Yeah, so that was my main thing. He tweets out the next day, if something along the lines of, if the Tesla board doesn't give me at least 25% control of Tesla, he now has like 11%.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stop building like AI and robotics at Tesla and just start a new company and do it there. I'm like, are you kidding me?
And so that's what made it trickle down. I saw.
So that was the first week's blow.
Okay.
And this week's blow, the headline is literally, Tesla stock plunges as EV maker warns production growth will be notably lower.
Wow.
So
are you going to still keep buying?
Yeah, the whole reason I bought was to hold it for long term. But
this month, are you going to buy more Tesla stock?
Yes.
Okay. So
100%.
100%. So you're going to stick to.
I'm going to stick to the plan.
I think that's the best thing you can do.
The only thing.
One second, I'm just going to short Tesla.
The only thing that would change my mind on this is if the board doesn't give him the control and he stops all human and AI robotics at Tesla. That will make me change my mind. But otherwise, I'm in it for the long game.
Okay.
I bought it to hold it for 10 years, so this doesn't change anything. It's just a speed bump.
Okay. But like your main conviction is still up in the air.
Yeah,
it's kind of hilarious that your main conviction got like challenged.
When does that when do you buy a stock and then the CEO like threatens to just pull out of like threatens the board with the whole reason you bought the stock.
Okay, well, hey, listen, man. Like I said, I think you paraphrased Warren Buffett's investment strategy.
Yeah,
but
well,
I think
I got the cliff notes.
I think you definitely. I think the best thing to do is to continue the conviction, and then you've already lost enough at this point, so it's a little bit more.
Can't go down from here.
Okay. Anyway, well, that's a good start to your week, or I guess last 2 weeks. What else have you been getting up to?
A lot of work. Just focused on that, and it's still been a good start to the year. Still rolling. How about you?
Nice. Well, last week we didn't record because I was in New York. It was good. I was there for a week. Every time I go to New York, like the first few days, I'm like, fuck, this place is awesome. By the end of it, I'm like, get me out of here. Like, but then also like when I land, I like
want to go back
and I miss it a little bit. It is just like one of those places that's just like hard to be, like, as much as it enables, it also like, I don't know. There's just like always so many distractions. It's like literally distraction village.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like I went there to go to a bunch of events,
right?
And like that stuff definitely like socially drains me, especially like when it's like business stuff and you're just like saying the same thing to all these motherfuckers. And it's just, but I met like a lot of really cool people, a lot of like founders of like brands that like I've looked up to a lot. Definitely drank way too much a couple nights, which like threw me off of like my dialed, which I think we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, recentering back. But other than that, this week's been like a crazy productive week with work. Like shipped some features. We like launched this like webinar series we're doing, which is honestly going to be like, I think our main like go to market like motion. And I've built like a bunch of systems on the back end of turning the webinar into like a bunch of content. And like within like a day, it's like starting to like work. And I'm like, fuck, okay, compound this times 52 webinars over the next year. Like sick. I think I found like a really solid thing. And I think I'm in a good place to actually execute on it because I built up a bunch of relationships. So like in terms of webinar guests and stuff, like we're already booked out like months.
How'd you promote the webinar?
So in-app pop-up for the webinar. Exit intent on the website, which like, dude, so our previous exit intent on our website was to book a demo. It had a 1.2% conversion rate on exit intent. The webinar had a 4.6% conversion rate. So you're 4xing your email capture and you're giving value.
Right.
And so I'm like, fuck, like there's literally a 4x on email capture on all website traffic. And then also giving value and like almost giving a better demo of the platform through like value. So that was really cool. And then we're trying to stick to like doing webinars with people who have influence in the industry or whatever industry that they're in. They post it. I ran a bit of Twitter ads, but like honestly, like the next one I'm not going to do it because it's just like not even like they spent like a lot of money, but it just like even the time to set them up wasn't worth it compared to all these other things.
How long was the promotion?
Dude, that was the crazy thing. 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Because like we had a bottleneck on like designing all of like the landing pages and stuff like that. Right. And so even though we had it like set to go, we didn't have all of the marketing materials for it. But this next one the next one's on like February 7th. And so we have already more registrations for this next one.
Oh, wow.
Tons of returning from like, cause we can see in the webinar platform, how many people have attended a webinar, like 30% are like now rolling back over to the next one. And so I think it's going to be this crazy flywheel. And I did, like when we were doing it, I did like the thing of like, whatever, like right where you're from. And it was just like literally everywhere in the world, which is like a really cool thing. So, and then a ton of messages after being like, that was super sick. Like personal messages being like, that was like a really cool webinar. And so, yeah, I'm pumped about it. I'm excited to just like scale it up now. And like, I think it's good.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to a lot of people who say like,
dude, I always thought that like, oh, like whatever, the people just like companies just do these webinars.
Yeah.
But 100%, like I have a friend that runs his business like purely off of webinars in terms of like sales and stuff. Like he sells coaching and courses and stuff. And like, it's just like every time he does it, he prints like tens of thousands of dollars. He has an offer at the end. Like
it's like a personal bias because I've never been on a webinar and never even thought a chance in hell of clicking like, I'll go to this webinar and like, put that in my calendar.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's 100% a personal bias.
That people like.
And what's really cool too is what I saw with signups is like they propagate well inside of a company. So like one person on a webinar, like let's just say a CMO of a company, maybe he won't attend, but then he'll force his, like if it's like a CMO will see a knowledge set of like whatever the webinar's about. He's like, I want that information injected in my business, and he'll just like get the people that are underneath him to like, you have to go to this webinar. And so I think it's for B2B, it's definitely like it's solid. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, that's what I did this week.
I'm gonna do that. So maybe you should share your flow with the listeners.
My flow?
Yeah, your back end flow to convert the.
So I mean, I don't even know if I want to do this, but okay, high level, you have webinar, which creates a page on the website. Obviously do like a really good job of like titling that webinar. Do the webinar, you download it. That webinar gets turned into a YouTube video that then gets embedded on that original page as a replay, which then you start building up this library. Transcribe the original one with AI, use that as transcription, embed that in the original post. Then I'm taking the transcript, putting it into ChatGPT with this kind of very detailed prompt about the way I want them to structure the information and be like, give me a summary of this webinar, pull out H1s, H2s, list of key actions. Then I'm going in with like a decent amount of human intervention, probably about 35 minutes of work. That turns it into a blog post. Blog image done with Midjourney. Then taking the blog post and saying, turn it into a LinkedIn carousel, turn it into a Twitter thread. And then, so those are like 2 more pieces of content. And then so we actually just brought on a new video editor that's starting on Monday. He's then going to take the full 1 hour webinar and then chop it into clips, and then also and that's now content to give to the people that attended the webinar that they can post. And so one, you're giving value to like the person, you're giving them a reason to like talk about you again. And again, it's most of the content in the webinar is reliant on the guest. So there's not that much work on our end.
Right.
And then we're like turning it into like 14 to 15 other assets for an hour of work, maybe another hour of like management, scheduling, going back and forth with the guest, and an hour of like turning these webinars into blog posts. So for 3 hours of work, super high value to the community. I think it's definitely worth it.
Okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to let you know how it goes. Right. We just started working with like LinkedIn influencers and paying them to just make like LinkedIn
the B2B
posts.
Influencer game is wild.
It's funny.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it too much, but it's like, these motherfuckers are making cash. Like,
and they have like not many like it's high value followers, it's like just some dude that is like a sales rep somewhere and like also posts on LinkedIn.
It's
like, $2,000 for a post. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's wild. What else you got?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Who the fuck is JD Power and Associates?
They rank cars, right?
They rank a lot of things.
Oh, really? More than cars?
Dude. So I saw it, like, I think I was on Instagram. I saw a post. I was like, who the fuck is JD Power and Associates? Now I'm seeing it everywhere, dude. They rank banks, insurance companies, cars, car dealerships. Like, who decided that they get to say what's good?
That's the beautiful thing about the world, is that you decide. You decide yourself, and then it just becomes, who decided that the sales rep from Minneapolis on LinkedIn knew everything about sales? It's just the guys. It's the guys that do it, man. It's the guys that do it. Yeah.
No, so I already found that funny, and every time now I notice like JD Power and Associates, I laugh now. Then today, one of our reps at our company got on a call with someone, and I was asking what their company did, and they're basically JD Power and Associates for like something else. And he was like, basically all they do is they'll test a bunch of products, like let's say soft drinks.
Okay.
And then they'll rank it and say Pepsi is the best soft drink of 2024. Then they make these like PDFs that look like shit, and they reach out to the like Pepsi in this case,
and they sell the data.
And they say, hey, you won our award. If you want to feature this in like your ads and marketing, you can license our name and like use it and mention that you won. And I don't know what it costs, but I'm assuming a lot of money.
Wow.
What a crazy business model.
That's a crazy business. If you were to make your own niche, not for opportunity, but just out of fun, what would you be ranking?
Cars, probably.
Cars is a good one.
Yeah.
Cars is a good one.
Or like toys.
Toys?
Yeah, like just like not kids' toys, but like adult toys. I don't know, like paintball guns and like random shit.
Okay.
What would
anything inside of Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, like shit like that.
Okay, cool.
Or like Canadian Tire items. Like,
yeah, Canadian Tire items would be fun.
As Dick's Sporting Goods.
Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods doesn't have that much cool shit.
You test the more niche items.
They have the tried and true. They've got basketballs. They got weights.
We got a slip and slide there, remember?
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about that slip and slide. That was a sick purchase.
It was.
Yeah,
$200.
Dude, that's like a side thing. It's so much fun, like being an adult and just like getting random stuff like that. That's just like wow, so much dollar per. So many smiles per mile or miles per dollar. I don't know.
I just bought one of those kids' guns that shoots like these water pellets.
Oh, like the gel thing?
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember when we went to the Texas State Fair and there was that guy selling them there?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that guy was ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he started the trend.
Yeah.
Those things are sick.
Yeah, dude, it's a massive company. I think Nerf bought them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or Nerf has a competitor or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they hurt a little.
Did you get Gel Blaster go on brand?
Gel Blaster,
Gel Blaster, yeah.
Got it at Best Buy. I saw it. I was like, I can't turn this down.
Dude, they're awesome. Are you using that in your house?
Just, yeah, security. Some guys tried to rob my car last night or the night before.
Yeah, you sent me the video. Dude, your Ring videos are awesome.
I know. I feel like I've gotten a lot of good footage on there.
You got some good shit.
The Amazon, I got an Amazon package last night and quite literally the guy pulls up at my house, gets out of the car with my package, throws it at my door. And while it's in motion, he pulls out his camera and flashes it. Like the second it lands, it's flashed like diagonally and he gets the fuck out of there. You've never seen a lazier guy.
Dude, I couldn't imagine doing that.
Dude, he had no idea what's in there. What if I got like plates?
It's true. Dude, yeah, that was a wild video. Man, Ring doorbells are awesome. Mine's dead, so
that's the problem.
But
yeah, you need a wired one.
Yeah, you need a wired one.
I read a book this week.
The whole book in a week?
I read it in a day, actually.
Wow.
I liked it. Honestly, I think this is the first time I've read a book just like on my computer screen.
Okay.
And I feel like that's like the hack for me because it's like really big on my monitor and I'm just like kind of flipping through like as if it was like I'm working kind of. Mm-hmm. And then just like can still bounce around to Slack. And then I was like, holy shit, I read this whole book today.
Nice.
So
what was the whole book? What was the book?
The whole book. So I love the name of this book. That like I literally read it just because of the name. It's called How to Make a Few $billion.
Okay.
And it's by a guy named Brad Jacobs.
Okay.
This guy has started 7 companies. Every single one has gone on to be worth $1 billion or more. 7 companies.
Wow.
That's like
okay. High level. What are the companies? What are they? Similar niches?
No, they're all different. The biggest one you might know is United Rentals. They rent like commercial equipment. Okay. So like forklift or like whatever for like construction projects and stuff like that. The book was good. It was like very current. He was saying like, you know, AI is like the future. And so I wouldn't do any business now that doesn't have like a portion of AI to it. But there was a portion on hiring specifically that I thought was really interesting. So I noted down some of like the main things I kind of learned from there. One he had was first one thing he found when he researched it, he was a part of a research study and they were looking for what is more important for a CEO, IQ or EQ? And I feel like most people seem to think it's like EQ. Because like you think of a CEO, it's like meeting people and hiring and understanding what people are thinking and like talking to investors. But apparently he was saying like IQ blew EQ out of the water. Like it wasn't even close. Anyway, so I found that interesting. So I did an IQ test and everyone at the company did an IQ test. And I feel like it should be an important part of hiring because he had intelligence listed as the most important piece for anyone he's hiring, which kind of sounds obvious, but it's also like when I'm interviewing someone, I don't think like how intelligent is this? I'm thinking very specific to the job.
Right.
So that was an interesting piece. He said that instantly removes like 90% of people. One other one was only hire people who are motivated by money, which I found interesting because this year we've talked about this on the podcast before, but like I've set up everyone to be highly incentivized by the company's growth, and people have the potential to earn a lot. And he was talking about the same in his book, where he was saying how there are certain people at his companies that have made, I think he was saying one guy made over $50 million 1 year. And he's like, and I was glad to sign the check bonus at the end of the year because he made us $1 billion. And so setting things up so that people can earn a lot is important, but then not if you have people that like aren't super motivated by money, because then you have these incentives in place and it doesn't change anything.
Right.
And so it's like, what's even the point? So filtering for like being very motivated by money when you have the incentives in place. And then he said, pay like the big corporations. Like if you don't pay like the big corporations, why would they go work for you instead of working for them? So yeah, I liked those. The IQ thing was interesting. I also started doing a brain teaser that Harrison got in a job interview, that we're now doing in all job interviews.
A brain teaser?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like a question. You want me to give it to you?
Sure.
Okay. So you're underwater.
Okay.
And you have a gun. And there's a submarine. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Each bullet, you have 2 bullets in the gun.
Okay.
Each bullet has a 50% chance of hitting the submarine. Okay. You shoot twice quickly at the submarine. And you see that the sub is sinking. So you hit it at least once. Sub is sinking. The question is, what are the chances that you hit the submarine twice?
It's 50%.
Why?
Because they're individual shots and each bullet had a 50% chance.
It's not 50%.
What is it?
You want one more guess?
Each bullet.
What are the odds you hit it twice? You hit it both times. So each bullet has a 50% chance.
I mean, I'm not good at math, dude. I don't think you should hire me. 25%?
Okay, that's not right, but that's the trick.
Okay.
The math you would think is that it's 25%. The actual answer is 33% or a third. And that's because you see the sub sinking, so you know you didn't miss twice. So there's basically there's 4 options.
No, but submarines are supposed to go down. That's unrealistic. Dude, if
that's a fair point.
No, dude, that information that because the submarine's going further down. That's what submarines do.
No, I said you hit the submarine at least once. That's
you didn't say that, bro. Okay. You didn't say that.
Rewind the tape.
Yeah, we'll rewind the tape, bro. Dude, that piece of information of you see the submarine sinking. I thought that was the brain teaser because submarines are supposed to go down, so it's irrelevant information. If you were to say the boat started sinking, okay, that makes sense. Boats aren't supposed to sink. Submarines are supposed to sink. I think you guys are wrong.
Okay. Well, honestly, that's a fair point. Maybe we should change it to boat. But we're going to rewind the tape because I said you hit it at least once. That's why it's sinking. You shoot twice quickly at the submarine. And you see that the sub is sinking. So you hit it at least once.
You hit it at least... Okay, well, if you hit it at least once, then the chances that you hit it a second time... Because if I know that it was hit once, then it's 50-50. If I already know the information.
No, but that first shot had a percentage chance of happening, if that makes sense.
Right.
You already know it hit at least once. So that takes away the option of missing twice.
Yeah, but bro, roulette bets are if you hit red 50 times in a row, your chances of hitting black on the 51st time are not higher.
I know, but it could be on either time. So put it this way. There's 4 options when you're down there. You can miss, you can hit, you can miss, and you can miss. Right?
Okay.
But you know you didn't miss. So it's a 1 in 3 chance.
I don't think that this makes sense because the second shot.
But don't think second, because you don't know if it was the first or the second. Maybe the first one missed and the second hit. You just know
because you said it was shot at least once.
Yeah.
The submarine sinking was irrelevant information, and I think if someone was like, "Oh, it's because it was sinking," they don't know what a submarine is.
Okay, well, we'll modify that.
Give me a better brain teaser than that, buddy.
There is why are manhole covers round?
Why? Oh, I actually know this one, but I don't know it.
Yeah, I know.
Why are manhole covers round? Oh, it's so that the thing doesn't fall in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to ask though. There are some that like we won't get into because they take a while, but the one, for example, is like
give me this one.
Estimate how many gas stations there are in the US. And it's not so much about you're getting competitive with it.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, what's the next?
I think the first one was absolute bullshit. I don't think it's right.
The whole point of it though, on like especially that one, is it's like it's not really about getting the right answer. It's more about hearing the way
they're thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like with gas stations, like I've asked people that, and now like everyone has a totally different like way of going.
I think it almost is even more interesting of being like, you have 3 questions for me to get to this answer. What are the 3 questions you would ask to get closer to the answer, as well as like, because like at the end of the day, we live in a connected world full of like information at our fingertips, and like actually figuring out information isn't the issue. It's like figuring out what information to like go out and seek and find and stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. When you can see how people think, I think you get a much better idea of like, them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want a job at Wiz anyway. Cool.
I have another interesting thing.
All right, hit me with it.
My favorite criminal.
Okay.
So
it was your favorite criminal before hearing about him, or you heard about him?
My old favorite criminal was Frank Abagnale from Catch Me If You Can.
Okay, such a good movie.
One of the best movies. And I heard this story, and I was like, wow, this might be my new favorite criminal. So this is the story. So bank accounts used to come with a deposit slip. Okay. That would basically, when you signed up for a new bank account, they'd give it to you. Mm-hmm. So you could give it to people if they wanted to deposit money to you, and it had your account details. So this one guy goes to all these different banks, and he's copied his own deposit slip, and he's just replaced the whole bank's stack with all his deposit slips. So
all new banks are just getting... All new bank accounts that are getting opened were just...
People were, doing their first deposits until they noticed into this guy's main account.
Okay.
So he's making like millions of dollars, and eventually, obviously, they catch him because they know who he is. Yeah. And they try to arrest him for fraud, but he ends up not being convicted because basically his defense was that it literally had his name on there and his account numbers, and people's like... That's more so like people's negligence. He wasn't like trying to defraud it. He didn't hide the name. So he was very like very forthcoming criminal. So they couldn't arrest him for fraud. So they decided to go after him for unpaid taxes because on all this stolen money. And the best part of the whole story is the entire time he was paying income tax on all the stolen money. Wow. So he got away scot-free.
Damn, what's his name?
I don't know.
You're your favorite criminal, bro.
I can't find it right now. It's a made-up story. I just made the whole thing.
It's completely fake. I found out this week that the bank that we're using has 15 employees.
Your bank? What bank are you in?
So
I didn't know any banks.
We were having like all of these like issues with like the Canadian to US conversion rate, and like no big bank was like giving us good conversion rates. And then so I found this bank called Vault, which is essentially like the Canadian version of Brex. And like they've been good. They're giving us like amazing conversion rates. But like now we're big enough that we are getting good conversion rates from like RBC, which is like we kind of use as like our treasury bank, if that makes sense.
Nice.
What a treasury, yeah. At least that's what it was labeled on our spreadsheet, treasury. But anyway, my COO or head of operations, he like I was having a call with this smaller bank that we're using, which is like, it's just like better for startups, like transferring money is easier, all this kind of shit. and he's like trying to negotiate like a better credit card points rate. We're like, we know you, whatever. And we're like, because we also like, we're like, I feel like we might be their biggest customer. Like, and then we're like, I'm like, go to their LinkedIn. How many employees do they have? They're 15. I'm like, our bank has 15 employees. Like, that's so nerve wracking. But I mean, like, they're like, they're based under like other big banks or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just like, that's like such a funny like realization, being like, oh, like a lot of our money's like with these fucking guys. It's also like the reason why I like them is like they have like pretty good customer service. Where like if I email them, like my account manager will email me back like in a few minutes. Whereas like RBC, nice. Like
good luck.
It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, also it's like, oh, he has nothing else to do.
No other clients.
There's no other customers. No, to be fair, like it's just like one of those realizations being like, oh, like our bank is 15 employees is like a crazy thing.
Treasury account. Dude, treasury is such a funny word for a company. Look at all this treasure we got.
I mean, that's what it is, right? We're just a bunch of pirates out there collecting our booty.
Oh man.
What else you got? Any new lifestyle changes in the last 2 weeks?
No, I started getting hockey lessons.
Hockey lessons?
Hockey lessons.
Okay.
So some of my friends have like a shinny game they set up every week.
Okay.
So
of course you're the guy that goes out and gets privates.
Yeah, I know. No, because I'm not very good. I didn't grow up playing hockey. We grew up skiing. So did you?
Played hockey, yeah.
You did? So I'm like way, way worse than everyone. And I'm just like very competitive. So I'm like, fuck it. So one of my brother's friends like teaches hockey privately. So every Fridays at 8 a.m. I go out to Jane and Finch and we rent a rink there and he takes me through privates. It's amazing. I love it.
Nice.
You?
I hurt my neck during doing jiu-jitsu, which annoyed me because it would affect my work all week.
My work.
So I'm like debating on whether, I mean, I want to still keep doing it, but it's just like, like that's like an annoyance.
That's why I stopped.
Like getting injuries when it affects your day-to-day work sucks.
Yeah.
Because like that's the only reason. Anyway, whatever. We've got to like close on a new office this week, which I'm really stoked about. We're getting at the end of the month, or at the end of March. Sorry, beginning of March, end of February. And so yeah, just super stoked about that. I was like, I wanted to start like planning once we closed on. I was like, hey, I want to start like planning out like all the furniture and stuff. And so like went on Upwork. I had like the floor plan, and I was just like, it was like a moment where I was like, wow, such a beautiful time to like live in. I found this guy on Upwork to like make the floor plan for $50. It was done in 2 days. It's like the most detailed like Google SketchUp model. And like I know Google SketchUp because I took like a bunch of courses in high school with it. And it was just like, it's just like a bunch of labor to do. Like, it's not like I couldn't have built the floor plan, but this guy just like absolutely crushed it. And I was like, wow, it's so nice that we can like live in a world where like in $50 and like some guy in just like Pakistan just like makes this thing like way better than I ever could have and saves me hours and hours and hours of work. I have this like other idea. I don't know if I mentioned this to you. So I'm a big like believer in like virtual assistants, but like there's like a onboarding period to like get value from a virtual assistant, which is why I've like put it off for like certain areas of the business. But there's like a lot of like tasks that like I do, or like even just like anyone in the business does that like isn't like if you're paying someone over $100,000 a year, it's like really not worth it for them to do it if you like think about their hourly rate. So I have this like idea of like, I think something I'm going to try to incorporate in like Q2 is like everybody that makes over $100,000 gets a virtual assistant.
Yeah, I tried it.
You tried it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a guy, I don't know, you might know him. He founded Kettle and Fire.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he wrote like a long blog post about this where every single person at his company has at least 2 virtual assistants.
Why 2?
Because he's basically saying everything should be like a high level task.
Okay.
And you should have like a virtual assistant that just does all the items that you think you want to do and do it. And maybe he did it right. For us, it just didn't work. Maybe we didn't invest enough into it.
I feel like you need it's like being able to delegate to a virtual assistant is a skill in itself.
Right.
So it's like you'd need to have like time and like resources for people to like do that. And then also like there is like an inherent thing that happens, which you're going to like burn through like people. Like until you can start hiring friends of the other virtual assistants, then you get like that kind of like critical mass. Like with the e-commerce company, like once we hired like 2 really great people, which we probably had to go through 4.
Right.
Once they started hiring their friends, when we had like new opportunities, that is when it was like, okay, like this is super good. And then the other virtual assistants can start training the
right,
and like that's when it becomes like, wow, this is like pretty amazing.
Yeah, we used some when we were doing drop shipping, and like it was helpful. But honestly, I don't have that many just like repeating tasks. Like all my tasks are kind of like I don't think it's things I have to do over and over.
I don't think it's about like repetitive tasks. Like, so I think it's like anything that's like, I think there's also like a lot of things that you maybe want to know in your business that you're just like, so for me right now, it's like, I think there's like a lot of like things that we could be just like manually tracking that like, if I woke up every day, like I would look at it and there'd be like value to that information, but I don't have time to like go and like pull a lot of that
like
stuff. Like random growth on like specific like products where it's like, I have to like go into all of like the analytics tools and like pull those out. And like, there are like little nuanced changes that like just like go over my head. Or like some of like the SEO reporting stuff, like a lot of it can be like automated into dashboards, but I just feel like there is still like a knowledge gap and like if you have someone like looking at it all of the time and then presenting you the data, there's like a lot of stored information that I think just like goes unnoticed. That's like one example. Maybe. That's one example.
I just find for me, like, I'm always just like, I'd rather do it myself than have to explain to this person. Like,
right, but I think that I agree with that. But like, that's the reason why I think you should, like, if there's a lot of that stuff, then there's stuff that like a virtual assistant could do. Like,
yeah, I mean, maybe within the company. Definitely for me, no, to be honest, because it's like, again, I just don't do anything that's like menial, and so like even if it's like getting somewhat, that I'll give it to someone else on the team to do. Right. But yeah, you can argue that there are tasks in the company being done that could be done by a VA better or cheaper, at least.
Yeah, definitely cheaper.
Free up time.
I mean, like, even like I'm just even thinking for like a sales rep, like, is their time better spent like prospecting versus like following up? Like, if they had like another set of eyes on like we both started using like OpenSend of like people revisiting the website, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, could that person close one more deal, which like pays way more, you know what I'm saying, than like what the salary would be,
right?
Or is there, like, the way I look at it too is like energy. So I think it's like not always about like menial tasks, like figuring out energy draining tasks so that you have more energy for like the super important ones, or like the ones that require like a lot of like brain power. Again, like I haven't figured this out yet, especially like with like what we're doing, but I think from first principles it works.
Yeah.
But then there's a big gap between first principles and making it operationally work. And I think there's like enough anecdotal data from other people being like, I couldn't live without it. So it's like, I think there's something.
Yeah. I mean, this is not always the best way to look at it, but like, do the best companies in the world utilize a lot of virtual assistants?
Deloitte does. My old accountant worked
at Deloitte, dude.
You said biggest companies in the world, bro.
I said best.
Okay. So like,
dude, Deloitte. What I'm gonna do what Deloitte fucking does.
Well, I'm just saying, like, okay, like I mean, actually, I don't know, but like when I went to the Philippines to like meet all of our virtual assistants, like all of them had worked for like very large companies in Canada and the US. That I was like, wow, you guys have like an office here. And what's really cool, if it's cool, is like as the startup, you pay way more than the big companies for like offshoring tasks, and can provide a better lifestyle because they can work in like somewhat in their time zone, whereas like most of the big companies that require them to work EST. Right. And so like you can also get like, I think, the best talent in those localities, and like whereas like it's potentially like the opposite here,
right?
Whereas like harder to attract like the best talent in like those local markets. And like some of this is like virtual assistant stuff, but some of it's also just like, I think also maybe it's not just virtual assistant, but it's also like a junior version of someone else that you're paying a lot. Whereas like maybe you couldn't afford to hire like a junior person here,
right? And
like you're getting crazy, like a lot more talent in these other markets, whereas like you couldn't even get like worse talent here, if that makes sense. Like if you had a head of content at like Wizza or like blog or something, making whatever $140,000 a year, like that person has like a lot of like random like documents and spreadsheets and stuff like that. Like you could get like an equally talented person for like, not to replace them, but to just like take off like the energy draining tasks of that person. It's just like, okay, could you get like a 1.5x out of the 150 for not 0.5 of the salary or something like that? And so I think maybe like, not just virtual assistant, but like augmenting North American work with like offshore work, with like talented people. Like it always like blows my mind, like the level of like, there's trade-offs, right? Like there's like language barrier trade-offs, there's like time zone trade-offs, like there's a bunch of stuff that you have to like deal with. But you can just get like really talented people and then also pay them an amount of money that makes them like incredibly bought in to like your business and like all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's what I'm thinking about a little bit.
Well, try it and let us know.
I will.
And I'll try the webinars.
You try, yeah. I mean, the reason I started thinking about this again was like the webinar stuff. Like there is like a bunch of just random little things that like I can do. It doesn't take me that much time. But if I could get off the webinar and then go back to designing a new feature in the time that this all is just getting like done, then that'd be great.
Yeah.
So cool.
Nice.
All right. I think that's a good spot to wrap it up.
Yeah. That's
sweet.
Nice.
All right. See you guys next week. Bye.